Hello, welcome to Extension Network. Today we're going to talk about wreaths. Now most people believe that wreaths are just for Christmas, holidays, but wreaths can be used all year round, seasonal. So today I'm going to show you a couple of wreaths that I've made, and then I'm going to demonstrate a wreath for you. So first of all, we're going to start with the big one. I used this one, I made this a couple years ago, and I used multicolored. This is a very large wreath. And I mix the colors in and out, because each year I decorate my trees, I choose a different color every year. So this particular one, this is large. This was very easy to make because when you use large pieces, it creates, it makes it faster to finish it. So it probably didn't take me on about 2 or 3 hours to make it. Each one of them takes about 2 or 3 hours, but I do them in steps. This one was a smaller wreath. It's got 3 colors. This is more Christmas. I use a little bit of ribbon. Very simple to make. Just shows 3 colors, start on the outside and work my way to the inside. This one, someone says this is a college colors. I just love these colors. So you can do them for your college, you know, when football, baseball season is around. And then you can always add something to it, you know, your name, your initials, or something to make it look more festive. Now this is my favorite. This, I work for the University of Georgia, so this represents UGA, and then it also represents the Atlanta Falcons, because we are Falcon fans. But if you want to add a little bit to it, you can put a Falcon symbol on here, or you can add a little teddy bear, and you can tie it with a twisty or something, you know, that'll make it stick to it. Don't glue it because it's temporary. You might want to change it. So I usually just take a twisty and just tie it to the mesh. On the back of this one, as you can see, I use this grid. And I put those in the center so I can have a centerpiece in my wreaths. So you don't have to do this, but I like doing it because it gives my wreath more support. So if I attach the little bear, he'll stick straight to the back and he won't come down. And if you want to add a little pop of color, I would suggest ribbon. As you can see, I've added a couple of pieces of ribbon. You can glue them in, or you can just stick them in with pins and just temporarily, because you may want to change it, you may want to do a different color. But the ribbon adds a more festive to it. The center can be left plain, or in this case, I took some knee-highs and wrapped them around the mesh and just stuck it to the center like a flower bulb. So you can get really creative with these. Now, my very, very favorite is this one. This is my spring wreath. It's a sunflower, and it's got the little piece in the middle, and I use marbles from the Dollar Tree. So a lot of this can come from the Dollar Tree. And what I did was, I did the same thing. I put the mesh in the middle, and I used pins to pin this little ball to the center. And then I painted it black, and then I add the little marbles that, like I said, I get from the Dollar Tree. And I use hot glue to glue them down. That made it permanent. So this one is kind of heavy, so when you hang it, make sure you have a really good hanger to hang this. But this is, you know, a little bit different. And if I wanted to add a different color, I could add orange to it, because you can always keep filling them in. So you can recycle it, or you can just leave it as is. Okay, that's just a few of them. Now today I'm going to show you some of the supplies I use, and then I'm going to demonstrate 2 styles that I make. First of all is your wreath. They come in different sizes. It doesn't matter what you use. You can get the same results no matter which one you use. If you want a large one, which is what that one came from, you can use it. It comes already with the wire attached. So all you have to do is just add the mesh to it. And to be honest with you, a lot of times you can get these from the Dollar Tree too, the 14-inch. So a lot of it can start at the Dollar Tree and then end at some of your other craft stores. And the foam, these right here come from the Dollar Tree. It's cheaper than buying them in your craft store. And this I paid a little bit more for, because I bought a round, what they call a round sphere, and I cut it in half. So that way I had two. I get two for the price of one. They usually sell for around $5. We always trying to save money, even when we're doing crafts and making festive things for the holidays. This is the felt that we'll be using, and you can buy felt in all different colors, and I'll show you what we're going to do with this a little bit later. These are the little twisties. That's what I call them, but I know that's not what they call them, but that's what I call them. I buy these, and they pull tight, and they hold your mesh very tight. So you can find these real easily. And then you got your pipe cleaners, as we used to call them, but they call them something else now. But pipe cleaners is still what I call them. I cut mine in half because I don't really need them that long. So you save money by splitting them in half. And then you got your picks. At the end, if you want to add a little pick, you can. These come from the Dollar Tree. This come from another craft store. And for $1, you can stick this in and made it festive. Or if the next year you want to change it out, don't glue it in, just stick it in, and then you can pull them back out. Ribbons, always buy ribbon. Ribbon works fine, especially the ribbon with the wire edge. You can weave it throughout the wreath if you want to, or you can just let it dangle at the bottom, tie it like a big bow at the top. There's so many different ways to use ribbon. And ribbon can be very inexpensive. Something else that I use, this is like the mesh that I use, but it's already in a tube. And what we use this for is we make bows with it. Or you can weave it just like you would do ribbon throughout your wreath. Just something else to add, and like I said, I get this at the Dollar Tree. And then these are just different colors that we will be using. And I use push pins. I call them push pins. I think they call them floral pins. I got about a big bag of them because I use a lot of them. And then in order to put them in your wreath, you can either stick them in, or if you want it permanently, you put some hot glue on it and then stick it in, and that'll make it permanent. And you cannot live without your trusty glue gun. It works for everything. I use the glue gun, or I use E6000. I use the E6000 when I'm not in a hurry, but when I'm in a hurry, I use the glue gun. So always keep your glue gun handy. And once your wreath is complete, and you know how sometimes the wreaths have these little fray things on the end? If you spray some adhesive on them, it'll keep them from fraying, it'll make them hard, and they won't fray anymore. So that's a good staple to have. And always, here's your ring, the hanger to hang up your wreath at the end. If you're going to hang it over a door, Dollar Tree sells these. So you can save a lot of your money with the Dollar Tree. And I always have to have my old trusty ruler. Got to have a ruler. Got to measure something. So, and can't forget cutting. Now, you can use scissors to cut, but it makes it a little bit harder because it rolls up. I prefer this little roller here. It cuts better than scissors, and it's a lot faster. So, with that being said, let's get started. All right, well, like I said, I cut my little things in half, and it saves money by cutting them in half. You don't waste as many. So you need this to get started. You need a wreath, your scissors, your mesh, and if you're going to do a center, you might need styrofoam. If you don't have to use the styrofoam, this actually is a different method from even this. They don't go together, but I'm going to show you how to do both of them. So to get started, what I do is I pre-cut all of my mesh. And that's the good way to save time. Is to, like when you're watching television, just start cutting them out. And I cut all of mine 10 inches long. Whatever, it doesn't matter how wide, because this comes as long as 21 inches. But I cut mine, I like the short, this version. It works better for me, and it takes less time, and you have less fraying. So I cut these 10 inches long, and then I roll them up really tight. That's one method. Like you see this one, they are rolled up, and then I'll attach it. Or if I didn't roll it up. The other technique is what you see on the Christmas one, is I go from angle, corner to corner, bunch, 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 and then we put the twisties around it, and it'll have this flower effect. But today, we're going to do this one. I think this is fun, and it's a lot less time consuming. So we just start out by just rolling it up. I mean, it rolls up naturally, but you want it to roll. And if you use more than one at a time, that really makes it go faster. So I take 2, sometimes 3, and I put them together just like this. I take my little twisty or my pipe cleaner, and I twist one good hard time. And then I would take it, I start, you know, you have all these points, and this is a good way to keep it up, to keep it even all the way around. So I'll start at one end, and I always start at the outside and work my way in. So I'll start here, and then I twist, just a hard twist. And that's pretty much it. That's just the way it gets started. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be just fine. So we'll take another one, and we'll roll it up. And I really enjoy doing this while I'm watching television, because you don't have to pay attention. You just roll it up, look down. The next thing you know, it's complete. So you take it. Now you can use these little things here. They work good. You can take one of these, fold it like this, do the exact same thing. I'm going to do it to the next one just to show you. They come in different sizes too. And it doesn't matter what color it is, because at the end, nobody will even see it. Zip ties, that's what you call them. That's the other word. You can use your zip ties, and then you can take and cut off the part that you're not going to use, because that could kind of stick you in the finger. But yeah, but I like using these because they don't take much time. And I'm going to keep rolling. Okay. You don't have to do 3s. You can do 3s. You can do 2s. It doesn't really matter. Let's see. And I try to tie them to the back of the wreath, so they'll all be at the front, like that. So, what I failed to show you, what I would like to, I always keep a cutting mat. That way I don't mess up my table. And these are self-healing mats. You can buy them anywhere. And I cut my paper 10 inches long. So when I want to cut out more, I'll just unroll it like this. I lay my paper on top of it, because I already know it's 10 inches long. That way I don't have to keep using a ruler. I use the scissors that I don't use. Use them, lay them out that way. Take my little cutter here, which is really sharp, and I cut it off like this. And I just cut them. And usually at home I take a laundry basket and sit it on the floor and just keep dropping them in the laundry basket until they get full. But this is very fast, and they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be even. Doesn't have to be straight. Because once you roll them all up, nobody's gonna know. Just keep cutting, like I just cut off half of the paper. Okay. Flip it to the other side. Keep it moving. I don't want to cut the table up. Okay. Very simple. Just a piece of paper that cuts down on your guesstimating whether it's 10 inches or not. So you can keep rolling. That's what I do. Okay. Now, there are so many other different techniques of doing this. I mean, there are so many other techniques. I mean, you can use, you don't even have to use mesh. This is called mesh. You can use, what what's that I don't like that burlap. I don't like the smell of it, so I don't use it. But burlap is pretty. It makes more of a country, wreath. But like I said, I keep mine pre-cut, so we just keep moving. And then you can use tulle, like you use in your wedding veils. Tulle, it comes in different colors, and it's really pretty in the springtime because it comes in those beautiful pastel colors. So tulle will work as you make your wreath. But it's a little bit thinner, so it would mean probably it may take a little bit longer. And just keep going all the way around till you get each ring covered. And what I would do is I'll just keep. I mean, you can make it as full as you like, or you can make it as thin as you like. And if you want it to be really fat, I would suggest not really roll it as tight. Just kind of leave it naturally the way it is and just squeeze it. Always squeeze them right in the middle. And you can twist it a little bit. That's just another way of doing it. Just twist it, and then don't twist this too many times. Just always do one good twist. Go back to the middle. And keep it moving. See? And then once I finish this size, next thing I'll do is I'll start working my way to the middle. I'll do the middle section. So I got plenty of them left. That little thing just won't stay up. You know what? We're going to put you over here so you don't keep bothering me. Okay, here we go. You see, it's not taking long, and already you can tell it's starting to fill up. And if you decide, even halfway through, you say to yourself, I want to add a centerpiece to it. Very simple to do. Don't take long at all. And I'll show you how I add my center if I decide I want to make a center in the middle. And when you add the center to it, it'll just make it poof out more this way. Make it more dimensional. So we're gonna twist this way. And I try to keep them in the same place because they're gonna slide, so don't worry about that. They're gonna slide and they're gonna stick to each other. They stick together. So we just keep rolling. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You just keep it moving. But what I normally do is I take 2 of these and I just cut them completely up. And that way, whether I need them or not, I already have some extras. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to show you how I would add my center if I wanted to add a center to it. Okay. Let's see. That over. If you work from the back, you'll see where you're missing, because from the front you really can't see. But if you work from the back, and then once you get the front, the top row as full as you want it, then you'll move in. You could either do the second row, or you can skip the second row and just go to the third. But you have to do the fourth to make it really look full. And you do the exact same thing. You follow the same technique. So let's say I decided, okay, I want a center. I already have a mesh piece here. It comes in colors, but white is just as good. What I do is I take it and I lay it out. I take my wreath, and let me show you one that's already like this one. I would lay it in the middle, and I would take this ring here, which was that ring, and I use a Sharpie and just cut it, just sharp it to draw it around the edge. And then when I'm done, I have this. So we take this, and we take these little twisties. Well, that's what I call it. You can use twisties too. can use twisties. The other little things they call twists don't go nowhere. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna find 3 good little places to connect it. It doesn't matter where you put it, but you do know once you connect these little things, they're permanent, unless you cut them off. Okay, let me flip it. And the reason I prefer using this for the center as opposed to using these for the center is because it's not going anywhere. It really does stay. So we're gonna put it in this way. We're gonna zip tie it just like that. And you take and you go opposite places. Let's see what I do with the other ones. Well, I did something with them. But anyway, we're gonna keep moving. I just take another, well, like I said, you can use these. And they work just as good and probably easier. Just take them and you pull it up. Just want to secure it. Really only need to secure it in about 4 places, like a clock, you know. And then you just twist it as tight as you can, just like that. And then I'm going to do one here, and then one here, and it's done. And then whatever I decide to add to it, whatever the weight is, it will hold it. Like I said, this is a little bit easier. It doesn't take as much time. And you just twist it. And this is the back, so no one will ever see it. And let's say I want to start filling in the center with this one, like this. So what I'm gonna do, I may have to cut some more because I was hoping this would be enough, but it's not. So we'll take them like this, take them like this, tie it in the middle. Okay, do a good hard twist. And then I start in the center of my mesh, whatever that is. It don't have to be exact, close as you can get. Let's see. And then we're gonna slide it through, just like that. And then we're gonna pull it tight and then twist. And as you can see, it's starting to fill in. And they'll keep moving around until you finish. And when I'm done with this, I'm gonna call it my little pumpkin, because it's gonna be orange, just like a pumpkin. So, what we do after we, let me put this over here. Use my scissors, because some scissors, you do need something to hold it down. You really do. And there are lines on your little pad, so once you learn, this is about a 12-inch, so all I need is 10 inches of it. I just fold it and then cut. And just keep moving. Let me cut a couple more of them, and then I will add a couple more to my center. And if you want them a little bit shorter, that's fine. The longest I would do is 12 inches. I think that's as longest that I would do. But I'm gonna, and it's not a project that you have to finish, okay? All right, once we get these three connected, from there it's the same. You just keep moving until you completely fill it up like you want. And I'm gonna tie this one off, and then I'm going to tie it off, and then we're gonna, just to show you that we can, and you just keep adding it just like this until it's full. Now, if you wanna see the finished product, you have to come to our November 3rd program. It's called Holiday Inspirations. It's when we gather every year and you come and you eat, you enjoy food, you learn things to do for the holidays, and you will make some wreaths of your own. You have to register. It's $10 to register, and we're gonna have a good time. And I hope to see you soon. If you wanna see the finished deal, you gotta come. See you soon.